Shalom, 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 Israel. This is Captain Paul Israel from Kingdom Builders of Israel LLC, and today's class topic is going to be on the truth about the name doctrine. Okay, Israel, today's class topic is going to be on the truth about the name doctrine. Okay, Israel, today's going to be a good class topic to discuss due to the fact that many of our brothers that's in the Hebrew faith, they come up with the conclusion that they know the name of the Most High, his true name. Okay, and we're going to expose that doctrine as a lie. Okay, we're going to expose that doctrine as a lie of these Hebrew brothers knowing the true name of the Most High Yah. Okay, and of course they claim, the Hebrew brothers claim that they have the true name of the Black Messiah. Okay, which is another lie. Okay, it's a understanding that they was taught, okay, through history, okay, that they know the true name, right? This is what the Hebrew brothers, primarily that started in New York, were basically pushing, okay, throughout the earth in general when they started the Hebrew Israelite movement. But we're going to go into this Bible understanding to prove that we as the Hebrew Israelites, we do not have the true name as of yet. Okay, so we're going to get the understanding when we supposed to get the true biblical name from the Most High Yah and from the Most High Yah's son, Yeshua the Mashiach. Okay, we're going to do biblical proof to prove that when we supposed to get the true names of the Most High and Yeshua the Mashiach. Okay, this is why I'm doing this lesson, Israel, so we can get straight to the point, because many of these Hebrew Israelite doctrines, primarily the name doctrine, is dividing the house of Israel. Okay, so we're going to open up this Bible to get the truth. Okay, so we can get the proper understanding about this name doctrine that's been put out through the earth by these Hebrew Israelites. Okay, we're going to let the Bible be true and every man a liar. Okay, so we're going to cut up the understanding of these Hebrew Israelites that's constantly telling people that they have the true name of the Most High and they have the true name of Yeshua the Mashiach. Okay, we're going to cut the lies now in this particular lesson. Okay, Israel, so get out your pen and notepad, Israel. It's going to be something like a deep lesson. Okay, so we're going to get straight to the history of this understanding on when the name that we refer to the Most High Yah as being. Okay, we're going to get the history of that understanding in this particular lesson. Okay, because we in general, it was passed down, of course, to Moses, of course, to give the understanding of the Most High Yah's name from Moses to the Israelites. Okay, so we're going to break the history down in the book of Exodus, understanding. Okay, Israel, so let's get into it. So we're going to start out in the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 to get the understanding of what's going on here when Moses was giving a representation of the Most High Yah's name. Okay, in the book of Exodus, understanding. Okay, this is the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1. It says, "Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb." So again, this is going into Moses. Okay, in general, if people are not familiar with the history about Moses, but Moses was a prophet of the Most High who was sent to Egypt to help deliver the children of Israel out of the hands of the Egyptians. Okay, so Moses ended up having a herd of flock, which is going into like sheep or lamb, right? He had gathered these flock from Jethro, his father-in-law. Okay, so Jethro is Moses' father-in-law, but again, Jethro had different names that was mentioned in the Bible being referred to as Moses' father-in-law. We're going to prove that understanding as well. And also Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, became a priest of the Midianites. Okay, and the Midianites is going into a descendant of Abraham's children. Okay, because Abraham had a son named Midian. Okay, so Jethro eventually converted over to being a priest of the Midianites. But Jethro was actually a Ethiopian. Okay, he was a Hamite. Okay, he was from the African nation. Okay, but he was not a descendant of Abraham. Okay, Jethro was not a descendant of Abraham. He was a Hamite who converted over to being a priest of the Midianites. Okay, and of course the Midianites are a descendant of Abraham. Okay, we're going to prove that. And it says, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. So Moses, carried the flock, or directed the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. So the mountain of the Most High Yah is going into, of course, the term of the understanding is called the mountain of Horeb, or in some cases it could be referred to as the Mount of Sinai. Okay, but it's basically the same mountain, but the scholars are saying it's basically two different directions. So you have Mountain Horeb, and then you also have Mountain Sinai, but it's talking about the same mountain where Moses got those 10 commandments at. Okay, so we're gonna go to Wikipedia, going to Mount Horeb. This is where Moses was basically about to have a conversation with the Most High at, on Mount Horeb. Okay, this is what the scholars know about Mount Horeb. Okay, let me zoom in. It says Mount Horeb. Okay, it says, is the mountain at which the 10 commandments were given to Moses by Yahweh. It says by Yahweh. According to the book of Deuteronomy in the Hebrew Bible, it said it described two places of the book of Exodus and the book of Kings. It says Mountain of Elohim. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Scroll down a little bit. It says, okay, it's been referred to as being called the Mountain of Elohim. The mountain is also called the Mountain of Yahweh. It said in other biblical passages, these events are described as having transpired at Mount Sinai. Okay, so you have two different directions. So you have Mountain of Horeb, and then you have Mountain of Sinai, which I established earlier. Okay, it says, although most scholars consider Sinai and Horeb to have been different names for the same place, there is a minority body of opinion that they may have been different locations. Okay, different locations. So that's why I established earlier that some scholars say that Mount Sinai and Mount Horeb were basically different locations at the same particular mountain. Okay, where Moses was getting the commandments and the understanding from the Most High Yah at. Okay, it says the Protestant reformer John Calvin took the view that Sinai and Horeb were the same mountain, like I established earlier, with the eastern side of the mountain being called Sinai and the western side being called Horeb. You see this? It says Abraham Ezra suggested that there was one mountain, only it had two tops which bore these different names. Okay, we don't have to read no more of that, but it's saying that it's the same mountain, which is called Mount Horeb or Mount Sinai. But the scholars are saying that it may have been different locations. That's why you have the different names. One saying Mount Sinai, one saying Mount Horeb. Okay. So now we got that understanding in the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1, that Mount Horeb could possibly mean also Mount Sinai, because it's talking about the same location but mainly different location on this particular mountain that Moses was dwelling at when he was about to converse back and forth with the Most High Yah at. Okay, so I had to break that understanding down. Okay, so we're going to get the understanding of Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, understanding. Okay, we're going to prove all things that Jethro had different names mentioned in the scriptures as being somebody else, but it's basically the same person. Okay, it says Jethro. Okay, this is on Wikipedia again. It says in the Hebrew Bible, Jethro, it says that's the name. I guess his name, it's saying his name is meaning his excellency or posterity. It says was Moses' father-in-law, a Kenite shepherd and priest of Midian. Okay, let's go here. It says sometimes named as Raul or Regel. So Moses' father-in-law had different names mentioned in the scriptures as Raul or Regel. So you'll see certain parts in the book of Exodus where it say Moses' father-in-law is initially referred to as Raul, in Exodus chapter 2, verse 18. And then it says, but afterwards, as Jethro in Exodus chapter 3, verse 1. And it says he was also identified as Habab in the book of Numbers chapter 10, verse 29. So as you can see, this is what the scholars say. But in general, when you do go to the book of Exodus chapter 2, verse 18, it does say Moses' father-in-law Jethro was named Raul. In certain cases, he was known as Ragul as well. Okay, but the understanding is going into the same person as basically Moses' father-in-law understanding. And Moses' father-in-law daughter was named Zipporah. Okay, so Moses' father-in-law Jethro daughter was named Zipporah, and Moses had married Zipporah, okay, who was a Ethiopian. Okay. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 25 verse 1 to get the understanding of the Midianites. Okay, the word Midian is going into the Midianites. So Moses' father-in-law Jethro became a priest of the Midianites. But we're going to get the history on these Midianites, on who the Midianites' forefather was. Okay. We're going to go to the book of Genesis chapter 25 verse 1. It says, then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So Keturah is the mother of the Midianites, or the mother of Midian. Okay, so Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. Okay, we're going to go to the next verse. We're breaking this down as simple as we can, Israel. Genesis chapter 25 verse 2. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Median, and Ishbak, and Shur. You see this? Median. So the Midianites is a descendant of Abraham. Okay? That's why I went there to give the people the understanding of who this Median, or the priest of Median, is getting into when we went to the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1, when it says Jethro, who is Moses' father-in-law, was a priest of the Median. Okay, he's talking about he was a priest of the Midianites, who are the descendants of Abraham's descendants. Okay, the Midianites. So Jethro was an Ethiopian who converted to being a priest of the Midianites. Okay, that's what this getting into, Israel. So again, Genesis chapter 25 verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So Keturah bore some sons, and the main son we want to get out this understanding is Median. Okay, so the Midianites are a descendant of Abraham. Okay, so we go to Exodus chapter 2 verse 21. It says, and Moses was content to dwell with the man. The man that's been referred as the man is going into Jethro, who's now going to become Moses' father-in-law. Okay, and Jethro, that's what it's talking about, or Raul or Ragul, which is the same person. So Jethro ended up giving his daughter unto Moses, and it says, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. So again, Jethro's daughter name was Zipporah, or you could say Raul or Ragul daughter is Zipporah. Okay, Zipporah was an Ethiopian woman because her father, Jethro or Raul or Ragul, was an Ethiopian, okay, who converted over to being a Median priest, okay? And he gave Zipporah to be Moses' wife, okay? That's what it's saying right here. Okay, so now we go to the Numbers chapter 12 verse 1 to prove that Zipporah was an Ethiopian woman because her father, Jethro, was an Ethiopian man or a Hamite. Okay. Numbers chapter 12 verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. You see this? Moses had married an Ethiopian woman because Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, was an Ethiopian man. Okay, Jethro was a Hamite. Okay, Miriam was Moses' sister, Aaron was Moses' brother, and they was upset with Moses because Moses had married an Ethiopian woman. Okay, so I'm just breaking this history down as quick as I can, Israel, to get to the point. Okay, so now we go back to Exodus chapter 3 verse 1. So now we got the history of what's going on in the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 1. Okay, so let's read this again. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, which we got the understanding and the understanding on the Wikipedia about Jethro. Okay, Jethro had different names as Raul or Regel. Okay, but it's all meaning the same thing as being the father-in-law of Moses. Okay, so we got that understanding. Okay, so now Exodus chapter 3 verse 1 again. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. We already got the understanding what the priest of Midian is getting into. That Jethro converted over to being a priest of the Midianites. But Jethro was not a descendant of the Midian. Okay, Jethro was an Ethiopian man, a Hamite. Okay, who converted over to being a priest of the Midianites. Okay, it says, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert. So Moses had led the flock to the backslide of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. Okay, so after Moses was tending to the flock that came from his father-in-law, Jethro, he ended up coming into the mountain of the Most High that was being referred to as being the mountain of Horeb. This is where he's going to get the understanding of the name representation of the Most High Yah's name. Okay, so that's the purpose why I had to break that down, Israel. Okay, so now we're going to go to the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 13 to get to the point of the name understanding. Okay, so this is why I did this lesson titled The Truth About the Name Doctrine. Okay, we about to get into it. Exodus chapter 3 verse 13. It says, and Moses said unto Elohim, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the Elohim of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? So now, Moses now speaking to the Most High is asking the Most High, hey, what name should I tell the children of Israel? Like, what name should I call you or refer to you as if I'm conversing back and forth to the children of Israel? Because I have to tell them, hey, the Most High, or I have to give them your name to tell them that this is the God of our forefathers that's basically going to redeem you out of the land of Egypt, right? So this is what Moses is inquiring a question to the Most High. What name should I call you to say you are going to be that deliverer? What name should I tell the children of Israel that you want to be referred to by? Okay, this is what Moses is inquiring unto the Most High on what name he should tell the children of Israel. Okay, on who the deliverer is going to be. Okay, so Moses is trying to inquire these things. Exodus chapter 3 verse 14. And Elohim said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. You see this, Israel? So notice the Most High didn't give him a direct name. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give him his true name. He said, hey, just tell him I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. So that's not a name. So the Most High is going to elaborate why he said I am that I am. He's going to explain what the I am that I am is. Okay, because most camps, they'll say where it says I am that I am, that's going into Ahia. Okay, they'll say the name Ahia is what has been in the staple point of I am that I am. They say Ahia. But we're going to explain why the Most High say, no, just tell him I am that I am. He's going to explain it in the next verse what that's getting into. What the I am that I am understand is getting into. Exodus chapter 3 verse 15. Okay, so this is the understanding what the Most High is giving to Moses. Exodus chapter 3 verse 15. And Elohim said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel. So now the Most High is now going to specify what to tell the children of Israel, on what name to give the children of Israel. Okay, it says, the Yahweh Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Whoa, wait a minute. You see this, Israel? You see, the Most High did not give Moses a direct name of him. He said, no, you refer to me as being the God of your forefathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Or you could say the Elohim of Abraham, or the Elohim of Isaac, or you could say the Elohim of Jacob has sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Because the Most High, I'm going to explain why the Most High did not give a direct name to Moses. I'm going to explain it, okay? But as you can see, the Most High is making it plain. I'm the Godhead that's being referred to by your forefathers. So the Most High is now explaining to Moses, you give the children of Israel the history of your forefathers and say, I am that God. I am the Elohim that they need to refer to me as being the one that's going to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptians. But as you can see, the Most High did not give a direct name. Okay? I'm going to explain why the Most High didn't give a direct order to Moses to give a direct name of him to the children of Israel. Okay? I'm going to explain why. But again, we're going to go to the Britannica on why we use the name Yahweh that's being referred to by being the God of our forefathers, or basically being the Elohim of our forefathers, okay, through history. Okay? It says Yahweh. Okay, it says Yahweh on the Britannica. It says Yahweh, name for the Elohim of the Israelites, representing the biblical pronunciation of Yahweh. The Hebrew name revealed to Moses in the book of Exodus, the name Yahweh consisting of the sequence and consonants Yod, He, Wah, and He is known as the Tetragrammaton. So in general, we're going to go by Yahweh based upon the reference of being the name of the God of the Israelites. Okay, so this is on a scholastic level on the encyclopedia. Okay, understand? So in general, in Exodus chapter 3, verse 15, the Most High told Moses, tell the children of Israel, I'm the God of your forefathers. That's basically what he's saying. That's my name throughout all generations. So this is why on this platform we use the name Yahweh, because it's history-wise, this is the name that the children of Israel was referred to by being the understanding of the Most High Yah. Okay? Now we're going to go to the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 7, okay, to get the law, understanding, okay, about the name understanding. Okay, it says Exodus chapter 20 verse 7, it says, thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy Elohim in vain, for Yahweh would not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. So again, the Most High don't want our people just calling on the name that he's been referred to by without action on keeping his commandments. See, many of our people who are the Hebrew Israelites, they like to call on the name of the Most High or the name that's being referred to the Most High, and they're not doing nothing with that understanding. They're just talking. Okay? See, the Most High requires action. Okay? He requires action from us, and we're going to get the understanding on what vain means, because many of these Hebrew Israelites don't know what the word vain means. They say you're not supposed to take the Most High's name in vain. Let's get the definition of vain. It says vain. It says, this is the definition of vain. It says empty, worthless, having no substance of value or importance. Okay, let me scroll down. It says fruitless, ineffectual. All attempts, all efforts were vain. It says, also says proud of petty things or of trifling attainments, elated with a high opinion of one's own accomplishments, or with things more showy than valuable or conceited. Okay, and it also says empty, unreal, as vain chimeras. It says light, inconsistent, worthless, empty, unsatisfying. The pleasures of life are vain. And it says number 8, false, deceitful, not genuine or spurious, not effectual, having efficacy. Okay, so it's going into like something falsified, something that has no value, fruitless, you have no substance. You're just calling on the name of the Most High in vain, meaning there's no significance and importance that you call on the name of the Most High and you're doing evil. Okay, just like you have these modern day pastors out here, they're so-called calling on the name of the Most High, but they're actually doing evil. Just like you have drug dealers, they call on the name of the Most High, but they are practicing evil deeds throughout the earth. Okay, the Most High say you're not supposed to associate anything reference to the Most High with evilness. Okay, so let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3 to prove that Yahweh requires action from us, not just what comes out our mouth as far as, oh, the name. We know the name of the Most High, but yet you're not keeping the commandments. You're not doing right in this life. You're doing wickedness in this life. Okay, Yahweh does not like that type of stuff. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3. Talk no more exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh is the Elohim of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. You see this? Actions are weighed. So Yahweh wants us to have substance. We need to have action behind what we speak as far as in representation of the Most High. The name that we associate the Most High as being, we need to have action towards righteousness, which is going back to his commandments. Okay, we don't need to just be calling on the name of the Most High or a name that's associated to the Most High, and we're not doing nothing with it. Okay, we need action behind it. Okay, see, people in the world associate the name of God, associate the name with Yah, associate the name with Yahweh, associate the name with Yahuwah, all these different terminologies, because some people in life, they use the name Yahweh, they use the name Yahuwah, they use the name Yahweh, right? They use the name God, right? They use these names, but they're not pushing righteousness throughout the earth. Okay, so this is what the Most High is saying in the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 7. You're not supposed to just be calling on a name that's been referred to the Most High and not doing nothing with it. Okay, he just said, because it just said in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3 that the Most High weighs actions. Okay, what we do in our life, not necessarily our boastfulness that come out our mouth. Okay, we have to associate righteousness with actions. Okay, that's what that's getting into, Israel. Okay, so now we're going to go to the book of Proverbs chapter 1 verse 1 to get the understanding of the book of Proverbs. I'm going to show you why when we go into the book of Proverbs right here. It said Proverbs chapter 1 verse 1. It says the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. So again, King David's son, King Solomon, wrote the book of Proverbs. Okay, so we're going to get further understanding while I'm going to the book of Proverbs. Okay, we're going to get further understanding. Okay, we're going to the book of Proverbs chapter 30 verse 1. It says the words of Agur the son of Jakeh, even the prophecy. The man spake unto Ithil, even unto Ithil and Yakal. So again, they don't really go into the history of this whole Bible talking about Agur, but this is a person in the book of Proverbs that was written by King Solomon. So Agur, who was the son of Jakeh. So Agur is a man that's having a conversation with these two other brothers named Ithil and Yakal. Okay, so they don't go into the history on these three men, understand, or actually these four men, understand. They don't go through the history of this Bible about these men, but in the book of Proverbs that was written by King Solomon, he's breaking the history down of a particular man named Agur, and he's having a conversation with these particular two men, Ithil and Yakal. Okay, you're going to learn something about Agur. Agur wasn't necessarily a wise man in the scriptures like that, but he had common sense. Agur had common sense. Okay, Agur had common sense. It's at Proverbs chapter 30 verse 2. It says, surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of man. So when it says brutish, that means not full of understanding. Okay, that's what it explains it, and have not understanding of man. So Agur, the brother named Agur, did not have enough knowledge like other men that was out there in the Hebrew understanding. But Agur, we go back, Agur had common sense though, but he was not knowledgeable in the Hebrew understanding like a lot of other Hebrew brothers and sisters were. That's what he's saying. Okay, Proverbs chapter 30 verse 3. I neither learn wisdom nor have the knowledge of the holy. So he's explaining that he didn't learn in the schools of the Hebrew understanding about this Bible like that. It said, nor have the knowledge of the holy. So he doesn't really have the full understanding of the Most High. That's what Agur is saying. Okay. Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4, to get to the point where I'm going to the book of Proverbs understanding. It says, this is Agur making these statements. This is the man Agur that King Solomon is writing about. Okay, Agur. This is Agur making these statements that King Solomon is writing about. Okay. It says Agur is asking these questions in the book of Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4. It says, who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. Whoa, wait a minute. You see this? I don't think my viewers see this. It says, Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4, who have ascended up into heaven or descended? So these are questions that Agur had, right? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. Okay, so Agur is asking a question. Basically, Agur is asking a question, who went up to heaven and who actually came down from heaven? And also, Agur is also asking, who can gather the wind that blows in his hand, right? Who has the power to control these elements? Who have bound the waters in a garment? So now Agur is saying, who can establish all the waters of the earth and put it inside of a garment, which he knows no man can. Okay. It says, who have established all the ends of the earth? Okay. So now Agur is questioning, who made the whole earth? These are just questions he has, right? This is just question he has, right? Who established all the ends of the earth? Talking about who is the one that created the whole earth, right? And then it said, what is his name? So now he's questioning. This is the key point I want to get is, now Agur is now saying, what is the creator's name? And what is his son's name? So now he has another question. What is the son's name? Because it's two different persons. So you have the Most High Yah, and then you have the Black Messiah, Yahshua the Mashiach. Okay, but he's trying to get their actual name. That's why he has a question. He said, what is his name? Talking about what is the Most High Yah's name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. Because no one knew their true names on earth. Okay, this is why he's asking this question, Israel. Okay, this is why he's asking the question. This is a question Agur has, because Agur, he had common sense. He may not have been knowledgeable in the Hebrew understanding like that, but he at least had enough common sense. This is the understanding of Agur. So we're going to get the understanding what Agur had understanding of. Proverbs chapter 30 verse 5. Every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. You see this, Israel? So Agur knew that every word of the Most High is pure, even though Agur was not knowledgeable about the Hebrew truth like that. Okay? And when it says every word of Elohim is pure, that's talking about every word of these commandments is pure. Okay? Of Yahweh's commandments is pure. Okay? I'm going to prove that Agur had enough sense to know that Yahweh's commandments is pure. Okay, and then if you put your trust in these commandments, it's a protection unto a particular man or woman, because now you're putting your trust in the Most High Yah. That's what Agur is saying, and that's proved that the commandments are pure. This is what Agur was talking about. Okay, Psalms chapter 19 verse 8, and we know the book of Psalms was written by King David. Okay. Psalms chapter 19 verse 8. It says, the statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. So this is the understanding that Agur was getting into, that every word of Elohim is pure. He's talking about the commandments. Agur was talking about the commandments in the book of Proverbs chapter 30 verse 5. Okay, this is the understanding Agur had based upon what he had understanding of what King David was explaining, okay, in history, because King David wrote the book of Psalms. Okay, as precepted again to understand that the word is going into the commandments. Psalms chapter 119 verse 172. My tongue shall speak of thy word. That's the key word, the word. For all thy commandments are righteousness. So the commandments are the word, and the commandments are righteousness. So they all go in the same direction. So the word is the commandments, the word is righteousness, and so forth. The word is pure. That's what it's getting into. So we already pulled the precepts to understanding what's considered to be pure, and that's going into Yahweh's commandments. Okay, so this is what the brother named Agur was talking about, that the commandments of the Most High is pure. When he said every word, he's talking about the commandments. Okay. So let's go to Psalms chapter 138 verse 2. Okay, we're going to prove it again that the Most High in general, he didn't really want us to focus on his real true name. He wanted us to focus on his commandments. That's why he did not give it to Moses to say, this is what my name is. Okay, this is why the Most High did not give Moses a direct name of him. He gave a referred understanding based upon the God of our forefathers. Okay, that's what the Most High gave unto Moses understanding. So this is going into, of course, in general, this is the book of Psalms chapter 138 verse 2. This is, of course, King David speaking in this understanding. I will worship towards thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thou hast magnified thy word above all thy name. You see this, Israel? Let's read this again. I will worship toward thy holy temple. You see this? I will worship toward thy holy temple, and that's in Jerusalem. The temple was in Jerusalem. Okay, that was east direction. Okay, I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness. Meaning King David is now going to praise the Most High Yah's name that's being referred to as being his name, but not actually his true name. I'm going to explain when we're supposed to get the true name later on. It said, and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. And we know the truth is Yahweh's commandments. Okay, it says, for thou hast magnified thy word above thy name. So we got the understanding that Yahweh's commandments is going to be magnified above all thy name. So this is why Yahweh didn't give Moses a direct understanding of his name, because he wanted us to focus on his commandments above his name. You see what I'm saying? This is what King David is getting into. Okay. So this is what King David is getting into. So this is why we go back to Exodus chapter 3 verse 14, and Elohim said unto Moses, I am that I am, and he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. The Most High did not give a direct name of him to the children of Israel. Okay, he only gave a referred name unto Moses to give to the children of Israel. Okay, because the Most High wanted us to focus on his commandments over his name. Okay, so that's why he only wanted us as the children of Israel to focus on the commandments versus his name, because he knew the children of Israel would be rebellious and also not want to keep his commandments. Okay, under this old covenant understanding. Okay, so that's why in the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 15, he said, refer to me as being the God of your forefathers, from Abraham to Isaac and to Jacob, has sent me unto you. That's what you need to tell the children of Israel, as far as this is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. This is what you need to tell the children of Israel. This is what the Most High told Moses to tell the children of Israel. So as you can see, you didn't see the Most High tell Moses a actual name. Okay. So that's why we go to Psalm chapter 138 verse 2. This is why King David says, Yahweh has magnified thy word or thy commandments above all thy name. Okay, because you know about these commandments, right? You know all about these commandments because why? Yahweh wants us to focus on these commandments. That's why you don't have a direct name associated to the Most High in this book. Because Yahweh's pure name is holy. Yahshua the Mashiach name is holy. Okay, so we only have names that's referred to as being those men. Okay, I'm going to explain why it was done that way. Okay, so now we're going to go to the New Testament, the book of Revelation, right? The understanding, the book of Revelation understanding. And this is going to be Christ's words, right? This is going to be the Black Messiah words on when we're going to get that real name of the Most High Yah, and also when we're going to get the real name of Yahshua the Mashiach. Okay, because right now we're calling on these referred names of these men that's been referred to in this Bible. Okay. Revelation chapter 3 verse 12. This is the New Testament. Okay, this is red letters. This is Yahshua the Mashiach speaking, right? Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my Elohim, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Elohim, and the name of the city of my Elohim, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my Elohim. And I will write upon him my new name. Whoa, wait a minute. You see this, Israel? This is what the Black Messiah is saying. It says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my Elohim. So when Yahshua say him that overcometh, is talking about when the children of Israel overcome sin. This is when Yahshua the Mashiach is going to set up that temple of the Most High Yah to be in Jerusalem. Okay? This is a future prophecy. It says, will I make a pillar in the temple of my Elohim? So when it says a pillar, that's going into the leadership. Okay? So the Most High Son, Yahshua the Mashiach, is going to set up the leadership back into the temple understanding. That's going into the Levitical priesthood understanding. So everything's going to be back right in the New Jerusalem understanding. Okay? When the temple of the Most High is going to be established in that New Jerusalem understanding. It says, and he shall go no more out. In general, the temple of the Most High is going to be established in Jerusalem. And the children of Israel are not going to be scattered going to other ideologies. Okay? They're going to be focused on this Hebrew truth the right way, because the Most High is going to establish his temple to be back on earth in Jerusalem and have that proper leadership in place so the children of Israel can be directed the right direction to keeping Yahweh's commandments. It says, and I will write upon him the name of my Elohim. You see this? Why would Yahshua say, I will write upon him the name of my Elohim? Because these Hebrew Israelites that's on the street corner, they say they know the name. But yet Yahshua said, I'm going to write the name of my Elohim. This is when you're going to get the true name of the Most High in the New Jerusalem, when the kingdom of heaven is set up on earth. Right now, you don't have the kingdom of heaven set up on earth right now. So you don't have the name right now, you Hebrew Israelites. This is out of Christ's mouth. He said, then you're going to get the name of my Elohim when the New Jerusalem is established. It says, and the name of the city of my Elohim, which is New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is not set up right now. So you don't have the name of the Most High's name. Okay? In order for you to have the name of the Most High, you have to do what? You have to be in the New Jerusalem. You have to be in Israel. You have to have that understanding of Yahweh's righteousness. Right now, we underneath that old covenant understanding. So when the New Jerusalem is set up, guess what? You're going to be what? Under that new covenant agreement. This is when you're going to get that new name. This is when you're going to get Yahweh's true name. This is when you're going to get Yahweh's true name under that new covenant. So you're going to get Yahshua the Mashiach, the Black Messiah's true name, when you under that new covenant understanding. Right now, you under the old covenant understanding still. This is what it's saying. Which cometh down out of heaven from my Elohim. Because that New Jerusalem understanding is going to be descending out of heaven to the earth. and I will write upon him my new name. My new name. It says, Yahshua said, I will write upon him my new name. Why is Yahshua the Mashiach, the black Messiah, saying, I will write upon him my new name, if these Hebrew Israelites of today are talking about they have Yahshua the Mashiach's real name, or they have Yahweh Shah's real name? Why would Yahshua have to write in this understanding that, and he said, and I will write upon him my new name? Because these Hebrew Israelites are forming doctrines that's not in this Bible. These Hebrew Israelites don't know the name. That's why Christ said, when the New Jerusalem is established, when the kingdom of heaven is set up on earth, that's when you're going to get his true name. This is when you're going to get the black Messiah's true name. This is when you're going to get Yahweh's true name. When the kingdom of heaven is set up on earth. Point blank, period. So these modern day Hebrew Israelites forming doctrines talking about, oh, if you don't call on the name Yahweh, you're not in the truth. If you don't call on the name of Yahweh, you're not in the truth. You're not calling on the name of Yahuwah, you're not in the truth. You're not, like I said, these Hebrew Israelites are forming doctrines that's not in the Bible. We're supposed to follow Christ. We're supposed to be following the black Messiah. What he just said. When the kingdom of heaven is set up on earth, that's when you're going to get Yahweh's name. And this is when you're going to get Yahshua the Mashiach's name. This is when you're going to get their true name. That's why it's going to be as a new name, because it's a name that we're not familiar with. So this is a cut, man, to these Hebrew Israelites talking about they know the name of the Most High Son and they know the name of Yahweh. Y'all don't know the name, man. This is a cut unto you, man. We're going to let this Bible be true and every man a liar, man. Okay? We're supposed to get the name of the Most High, the name of Yahshua, in the new kingdom that's going to be established on earth in Jerusalem, man. Point blank, period. Revelation chapter 19, verse 12. Okay, the precept what we just read in Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. It says, Revelation chapter 19, verse 12. It says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Whoa, wait a minute. You see this, Israel? This is talking about Christ right here, the black Messiah, right? Because he's going to have his crowns on his head because he's going to be the King of Kings and Lords of Lords. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Because the men of this world and this earth, we don't know the name of the Most High Son's true name of this earth because we are in the flesh. We are defiled people as a nation of Israel, right? So there's a separation between the spiritual righteousness and the earthly understanding. It's a separation, okay? So, like I said, Israel, the Bible doesn't contradict itself, okay? So now we go to the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Elohim. His name is called the Word of Elohim because Yahshua the Mashiach is the Word of the Most High, or the commandments in the flesh when he was on earth operating in the right spirit of Yahweh's righteousness. Right? But again, the name that we're going to be given that name under the new covenant understanding. Okay? Because Yahshua the Mashiach is going to fulfill the word of the Most High. That's what it's saying right here. And his vesture was dipped in blood because Yahshua HaMashiach is coming back to judge the earth. Okay, based upon the wickedness that's been promoted on the earth. Okay, when it said his name is called the Word of Elohim, his name is called that because he is the Word of the Most High. He is about Yahweh's commandments. But again, it just established in Revelation chapter 3, verse 12, when we're going to get his new name. So in the book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 12, it established when we're going to get Yahshua the Mashiach, the black Messiah's real true name. Okay, we're going to get his name in New Jerusalem. Okay, when the kingdom of heaven is established on earth. Point blank, period, man. Okay, these Hebrew Israelites forming these doctrines, man, they need to stop. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8. This is the understanding why we don't have the name of the Most High and we don't have the name of Yahshua HaMashiach's true biblical names. Understand it. This is why. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8. It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. You see this, Israel? So again, finding fault with them. See, the Most High knew he was going to find fault with the children of Israel. So the children of Israel was going to what? Be disrespectful to the Most High, right? By not following his commandments. So Yahweh already knew what we was going to do. So he's not going to give us his holy name or his son's holy name when we're going to just defile those names. So the Most High Yah only gave the children of Israel on the names that he wanted to be referred to as being. Okay? So again, you have Yahweh blocking the understanding of his true name. Then you also have Yahshua the Mashiach blocking the true understanding of their true name. Because we are what? Defiled people under that old covenant understanding. So this is why Yahweh said, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So again, a new covenant has to be established so you can get the true name of the Most High and the true name of Yahshua the Mashiach. Point blank, period. Okay? You don't have the understanding of the Most High's name or Yahshua the Mashiach's true name, because we are under the old covenant understanding. Okay? So now we got that understanding. We're going to go. So we're going to go to the book of Hebrews chapter 8 verse 9. We're going to go to the book of Hebrews chapter 8 verse 9 to prove why Yahweh did not give us his true name. Okay. At the time when he was talking to Moses. Okay. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. Because again, our forefathers did not keep Yahweh's commandments. Okay, so they did not continue in the covenant. And the Most High did not want to deal with them on that understanding to give them his true name, because they was going to defile his name. So that's why he did not give them the understanding of what his name was. Point blank, period. Okay. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 10. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. Talking about after the days of the children of Israel have repented. And also my son is going to come back to redeem them, to bring them to the Holy Land, to what? Be under that new covenant understanding. This is what this is getting into. Okay, Israel. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. This is when you're supposed to get the name of the Most High Yah. This is when you're going to get the name of Yahshua the Mashiach, their true name. When you are what? In that new covenant understanding. This is what it's talking about, Israel, because you're going to have Yahweh's laws in your mind. You're going to be having it in your consciousness. You're going to be in spirituality understanding. You're going to be immortal because you're going to be operating in the right spirit. And I will be to them a God. So the Most High say, this is when they going to know my name, because I know they in the right spirit, and they shall be to me a people. We're going to be a people of the Most High. We're going to be the holy children of Israel because we in the right spirit. Okay, right now, as the children of Israel, we're not operating in the right spirit as a people. But in the new covenant understanding, this is when the children of Israel are going to be operating in the right spirit of the Most High. And this is when we're going to have his true name. Point blank, period, man. Okay. Point blank, period. Okay. So now we're going to go to the book of Hebrews chapter 8 verse 11. It says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. Whoa, wait a minute. You see this, Israel? So again, in the new covenant understanding, we're going to be focused on the Hebrew Israelites as a people. We're not going to be worried about the other nations. Okay, because right now in this context, you see our people who are the Hebrew Israelites of today, they worry about the Gentile nations right now, right? But in the future, in the new covenant, we're going to be worried about the children of Israel. We're not going to be teaching that doctrine. All races of people are included with salvation. Okay, that's how you know we under the old covenant understanding. But in the new covenant, we're not going to be teaching that bull crap that all nations can be saved. We're going to be teaching that the salvation understanding is for the children of Israel. That's why it said, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor. We're not going to teach, oh, everybody's our neighbor. All races are our neighbor. We're not going to be teaching that bull crap no more. We're going to have the understanding that the Most High Yah is only dealing with us, the children of Israel only. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother. Because we're not going to be with that bull crap no more that we learn in these freaking religions, that all races are included for salvation. No. We're going to be teaching that only the Hebrew Israelites are my brother. Only the Hebrew Israelites are my sister. This is what the Bible is saying. Saying know Yahweh. Because we're going to know who Yahweh is. Because this is when we're going to know his name. We're going to know what this Hebrew truth is about. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. So from the least to the greatest of the children of Israel who repented as Hebrew Israelites properly, we all going to know the name of the Most High. This is under the new covenant understanding. This is when we're supposed to know the understanding of the Most High Yah's name. This is when we're supposed to know the understanding of the Most High Son, Yahshua the Mashiach name. Under that new covenant understanding, man. Stop with these doctrines, you Hebrew Israelites, talking about you know the name. You don't. Okay? Because we are defiled people under this old covenant understanding. That's why we have to get to the new covenant so we can be what? In the good graces of the Most High, man. So we can have that relationship with the Most High, so we can be accepted unto him through his son Yahshua HaMashiach's spirit and love. Okay? Point blank period, man. Revelation chapter 3 verse 12 again. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my Elohim, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Elohim, and the name of the city of my Elohim, which is in New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my Elohim, and I will write upon him my new name. You see this, Israel? This is a cut to you fake Hebrew Israelites that want to say you got the name. You don't. If you want to be a true Hebrew Israelite, just say, hey, we're calling a name that we believe is reference to the Most High Yah's name. Be like that. But don't put us a doctrine and say, hey, this is his name. If you don't call on the name Yahweh, you're not in the truth. That's not biblical. Okay? So we're supposed to be calling on a name that's associated with the God of this Bible. We're supposed to be calling on a name that's associated with our forefathers. Okay? So as you can see, we're going to get the true name of the Most High Yah and the true name of Yahshua the Mashiach in that New Jerusalem, when the leadership of Yahweh's holy temple in Jerusalem will be set up again. Right now, we're not in Jerusalem right now. The temple of the Most High is not set up right now, so we don't have the name right now. So we're supposed to have the name when all these elements are established. This is out of Christ's mind. This is red letters. Okay? So you Hebrew Israelites that's upset with the truth, hey, be mad at Christ. I'm just a messenger. But you know you can't be mad at Christ because Christ is what? True. So he's only going to speak what his Father commanded him to teach. So this is an understanding coming from the Most High when we're supposed to be given the name of the Most High and the name of his son Yahshua the Mashiach. Okay, so you Hebrew Israelites, y'all need to be mad at yourself by forming these fake doctrines that's not in this Bible. That you got to call on the name Yahweh. That's the only name you're supposed to call on. That's a doctrine that's made up by man. Okay, and that doctrine came from the brothers from New York. Okay, and they still pushing that same doctrine all the way up to this day. But they can't prove it out the Bible. The Bible says we're supposed to prove all things. Okay, which they have no proof. So I explained proof that under the new covenant understanding, this is when we're going to get the name of the Most High Yah. Okay, according to Hebrews chapter 8 verse 8 on down. Okay, according to According to Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8, because the Most High found fault with the whole house of Israel, because we was going off, worshiping idols. Okay? That's why Yahweh didn't give Moses a direct name of him to the children of Israel, because he knew we was going to break the covenant agreement. Okay, Exodus chapter 3 verse 15 proves the name that Yahweh wants us to call on is the name that's associated with the forefathers of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. That's his name of understanding. Okay, we call on the name that's associated with this Bible. Point blank period. Some people may say the black Jesus or the black Messiah or so forth. But at the end of the day, we're supposed to be keeping these commandments when we calling on these names that's associated with this Bible. Okay, because the commandment says we're not supposed to take Yahweh's name in vain when you go to Exodus chapter 20 verse 7, because many people are just calling on the name with the Most High and not doing anything with it. Okay, because we learned that the Most High requires action when we went to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3. Actions are weighed. Okay. And also too, Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4 proved that one brother named Agur did not know the name of the Most High, did not know the name of the Son, because it was not given. Point blank period. Because if it was, of course, Israelites will be blasting that name all day, right? They'd be calling on the name of Yahshua, calling on the name of Yahweh, their true names or whatever like that. They will be calling on the real names and not doing right. He wouldn't have to ask this question right here. This brother would not have to ask this question. What is his name and what is his son's name? If the name was already told to our forefathers. Point blank period. Okay. And then also, hold on. And also King David says, Yahweh want us to focus on his commandments above all thy name. Because you're going to know about these commandments all throughout this Bible. But again, where's the name of the Most High and the name of Yahshua at? Okay, in the scriptures. Right? We're going to get that name under new covenant understanding. Okay? We're going to get that name of the Most High and his son Yahshua Mashiach under the new covenant understanding. Point blank period. So again, Israel, this is a cut to you Hebrew Israelites, man. So again, Israel, hopefully you enjoyed this class lesson on the truth about the name doctrine, on when the children of Israel are supposed to get this name doctrine of the Most High understanding properly. When we are in that new Jerusalem, we're in that new covenant agreement. We are in our spiritual bodies. We are in righteousness, right? We're not defiled people, right? When we have Yahweh's laws in our heart and our mind, according to the book of Hebrews chapter 8 verse 10 was getting into. And this is when we're going to be a people of the Most High. When we are what? In our homeland. Keeping Yahweh's commandments as it is written. This is when we're going to be a people of the Most High. This is what the Bible says. So you Hebrew Israelites, stop following men. Follow this Bible. Yahshua the Mashiach told you when you're going to get the name. In the New Jerusalem. In the kingdom of heaven on earth. You're not there right now. In the kingdom on earth right now. You're not there right now. So you don't have the true names. Point blank period, man. Anybody that's telling you, oh, we have the true name at this camp, they lying. Okay? Yahshua said it himself. You're going to get the true name in the kingdom of heaven on earth. So we're going to follow what the black Messiah say. We're not going to listen to no man. Okay, Israel? We're not going to listen to no man. We're going to listen to what the Bible says when we're going to get the Most High Yah's true name and Yahshua the Mashiach's true name. Okay, Israel? So let it be known. Share this video. Let it be known to these Hebrew Israelites. Y'all are just calling on the name that's referred to the Most High. Y'all just calling on the name that's referred unto Yahshua the Mashiach. Or y'all referring to the name of Yahweh. Or y'all referring to the name of Yahweh Shai. Or y'all referring to the name of Jesus. Or y'all referring to the name of God. With association with the Bible that you have now. But again, those names that you're calling on being referred to as those names being the creator and being the son, if you're not keeping Yahweh's commandments, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, Israel? So you got to be rehearsing the righteous acts of this Bible. Point blank, period. That's the point of this lesson, Israel. Keep the commandments. That's what this Bible promotes. Commandments. But in the future, in the kingdom of heaven on earth, you're going to get their true name. Okay, this is what the Bible says. This is red letters in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 12. Okay? Other than that, Israel, stay tuned for more videos on this Hebrew channel. Other than that, shalom.